When you're building a business and your business is growing, you're going to need the right financial structure to make sure that it's well supported so that it can be financially healthy and sustainable. If you take a look at the building behind me, this is called Hampton Court, and it was built almost 500 years ago. It was actually the residence of Henry VIII. And the reason why it's still around today is because it was so well built. So how do you ensure that your finances for your business are well built as well? That is why I developed a framework that I call a financially healthy house. And it has 5 pieces. The first piece is the foundation, which is the accounting and bookkeeping. The second piece is the financial analysis, which are the walls of the house. The third piece is the financial systems and processes. So you can think of it as internal design of the house. And the fourth piece is the financial planning and the strategy. So that is the roof of the house. And the fifth piece are the internal controls or the alarm bell of the house, making sure that your business is well protected against any potential fraud. So the first piece is the bookkeeping and accounting. That is the foundation of your house. And this is all the data, all the accounting data that's going into your business. The goal is that the data is accurate, up to date, and timely. It also needs to comply with all the tax codes and regulations. There are 2 types of accounting. The first one is called accrual accounting, and the second one is called cash accounting. Accrual accounting, it's more complex and it's more rule-driven than cash accounting. A quick difference between the cash and accrual accounting is that in cash accounting, you are not recording any of the transactions, financial transactions, unless they have hit your cash. So for example, if someone is sending you a bill, you will not record that bill until that transaction has hit your cash. You have sent out the payment and it has actually hit your bank account. The reason why you need to be aware of that type of accounting you're using is because that is going to significantly impact your financial records and financial statements and how the numbers are represented on your statements. So the things to ask yourself here is, what type of accounting are you using? Is it cash or is it accrual? Because the way how your financial statements are going to look like, it's going to make a huge difference. Are your books up to date and closed every single month, meaning that all the transactions that happened in the previous month have been accurately reflected in your books? And is the person who is doing your bookkeeping and accounting professionally trained and experienced? Making sure that you're not using an office manager who has never done bookkeeping and accounting before to keep your books in order. The second part of your financially healthy house are your walls, and this is financial analysis. The goal of the financial analysis is to gather all the data that you have gotten on your foundational level from your bookkeeping and accounting and to actually make decisions, data-driven decisions based on it. That involves looking at the trends, that involves looking at your performance metrics, your KPIs, key performance indicators, and looking at your profitability, and looking at all the levers that you have available to pull so that you can guide your business and run your business in the way that will be the most optimal for the goals that you want to achieve. Some of the questions to ask yourself here are, what are the 3 to 5 key metrics that you need to be looking regularly to make sure that the business is going into the direction that you want it to go to? And are you comparing your data to your budget and the forecast, or are you just looking at how have you performed in the previous months? And do you know the levers that you have available to pull in your business to make sure that it's going in the place that you need it to go? The third part of your financially healthy house is the financial systems and processes, and that is the interior design. Just like it does not make sense to put a bathroom in the middle of your kitchen, you want to make sure that the systems and the process that you're using are the most optimal for your business. Meaning the type of accounting software that they're using, the type of reporting software that you're using, how you're using your CRM, because that is going to give you information on your sales and on your revenue, and that is very important when you're trying to forecast the future. All the contracts, all the processes that you have around that, and especially the billings processes as well. And some of the questions to ask yourself here is, are the systems and the processes that you're using right now still serving you currently? Or do you need to make a change there? Because as you are growing the business, the systems and the processes that have served you in the past might not serve you anymore right now. Also, what's true is that what is serving you right now might not serve you well in the future. So keep in mind that you always want to take a look at where you're going to be a couple of steps ahead so that the changes that you're making right now are going to stay with you for a little bit longer and not just, put a band-aid on the systems and processes just to get through. So think about it in terms of steps ahead? Are the systems that you currently have a bottleneck in the process somewhere? Do the data and the insights that you're getting help you make decisions? If not, make sure that you're looking at the data that you're getting and trying to figure out how do you get the data so that you can get the insights to drive the business forward. Because if you're just getting data and you're not making decisions based on it, it's just going to be noise. So make sure that the data that you're getting, you're using, and it's useful to you to make decisions about the business. The third part of the financial healthy house is financial planning and strategy, and that is the roof of the house. And just like in a roof of the house, the roof of this financial healthy house protects anything that is in the house. Meaning what you're doing here is you are mapping the future of your business, make sure that it's well protected in the future. So you're setting objectives and you're setting goals for the business and plans on how to achieve them. So that means that you are doing your budgeting, you're doing forecasting, and you are doing strategic planning. So that is the 10,000 foot view of your business instead of just looking at the details. It also means that you're doing exit and succession planning, because even though you might not want to sell your business, eventually you will want to retire, maybe go on a beach somewhere and not do anything. So make sure that you're planning for that eventual time when it will happen. So some of the questions to ask yourself here is, do I have a budget and do I have a forecast that is regularly updated? And by regularly updated, it really depends on what is happening in your business. If things are constantly changing and moving, you might need to do a forecast every month. That happens too. Or you might just need to do it every quarter or every 6 months. It really depends what is going on in the business. But you should be doing a budget and a forecast. Another question that you should ask yourself is, are you making a conscious decision to sit down and do strategic planning about your business and do it so annually? And the third question you should be asking yourself, while you might have a budget and a forecast, are you actually using it? Meaning, is it useful to you? Because if the budget is completely off and the forecast is completely off, then something is wrong. So that might be that something has gone wrong in all the layers before that. For example, the data that you're getting might not be correct, your bookkeeping is not up to date, or the accounting you're using, it doesn't serve you. So these are all the things that you should be asking yourself when you are doing forecasting and planning for your business. And the last part of your financially healthy house is the fifth piece, and this is the internal controls, which are all the safeguards in your business to prevent against fraud and to safeguard your assets. And some of the things that fall under this umbrella are all the financial and accounting procedures, separation of duties, data backups, and periodic audits. And some of the questions that you should be asking yourself is, who has the access to my financials and what kind of access do they have? Is there a separation of duties, meaning that the person who is writing the check is not also booking it in your financials and then reconciling it, because these are different touch points in your accounting and you don't want to give one person all the keys to the kingdom. Also, do you have backups in place? So if something were to happen, do you have a backup of all the transactions and all the years of the financial data that you have so that it's not going to be erased? Granted, if you're using cloud accounting software, that is most likely taken care of for you already, but still make sure that that is taken care of. Another question to ask yourself here is, are the previous periods, the previous months and the previous years in your accounting system locked with a password? They should be locked with a password so that no one can accidentally or on purpose change the data that you've had in the previous years, because that way they can hide a lot of things without you knowing. So these are all the 5 pieces that you need in your business in order for your finances to be healthy and sustainable. Also, this type of structure will grow with you. And if you put this in place as your business is under 10 million, this type of structure will grow with you. Even if you're at 100 million, even if you get to $1 billion, $10 billion, whatever it might be, the structure will stay the same. The only thing that will change is how many people are in the structure and how many people are supporting it. But everything stays the same, truly. If you want to know a little bit more about the Hampton Court behind me, stick around, because in the next couple of seconds, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. And also, I'm going to show you the interior of it and the gardens surrounding it, the beautiful, beautiful gardens surrounding it. This has been another episode of Newcastle Finance, Financial Tidbits from Old Castles.
This video was filmed in Hampton Court Palace in UK. Hampton Court Palace is a 500-year-old royal pleasure palace filled with captivating tales and pivotal moments in English history. Construction began in 1514 by Cardinal Wolsey, an advisor to Henry VIII. When the cardinal failed to secure Henry's infamous divorce request from the Vatican, the larger-than-life king threw the cardinal out, seized the palace, and transformed it into his party palace, hosting extravagant banquets and sumptuous feasts in its lavishly decorated rooms. Inside the palace, touches of Henry's love of opulence are seen everywhere, from the ornate ceilings to many great works of art. There's also a series of tapestries depicting the story of Abraham adorning the walls of the Great Hall. Commissioned by none other than Henry VIII, the Abraham tapestries were extremely expensive even back then. Aside from its opulent interiors and grand gardens, two of Henry's wives are, according to a legend, still in presence. You might bump into Jane Seymour's ghostly apparition wandering the halls, or hear Catherine Howard's chilling screams echoing through the corridors. Today, Hampton Court Palace hosts many events and festivals that bring the past to life, such as historical walking tours, jousts, plays, reenactments, and modern activities such as movie screenings and more. One of its most popular attractions are over 60 acres of former landscape garden and more than 700 acres of historic parkland. Fan favorites include the Rose Garden, the Great Fountain Garden with rows of massive yew trees, and the UK's oldest surviving garden, Puzzle Hedge Maze. Even after 500 years, Hampton Court continues to enchant people from all over the world with its incredible art collection, stunning architecture, and timeless charm, showing that it has stood the test of time.